In this video, we'll go through exam questions that cover the criteria add, subtract, multiply and divide decimals up to 3 decimal places. You can locate the questions on the mathsmaths.com website under Level 2. The questions come from different exam boards. We'll start with the non-calculated questions and then we'll move to the calculated questions. Here is the first one. Zach is a journalist. He's writing an article about the local weather. This table shows the highest and lowest temperatures in Zach's town for 2 different years. We've got year 2014, the lowest, and the highest is 20.3. We've got year 2018, the lowest minus 0.2 degrees Celsius and the highest 23.4 degrees Celsius. Which year had the greater difference between highest and lowest temperatures? Show how you decide. So if we look at 2014 first, there is 0, the lowest is minus 3.4 and the highest is 20.3. The difference is this distance here and this one here. So 20.3 and 3.4. 3 and 4 is 7, 0 and 3 is 3, 2 and 0 is 2. So 23.7 degrees is the difference between the lowest and the highest temperatures in year 2014. In 2018, there we have 0, lowest is minus 0.2, and the highest is 23.4. So again, I'm going to add these two together. So 23.4 and 0.2. 4 and 2 is 6. 3 and 0 is 3. 2 and 0 is 2. So 23.6. We're looking for the one with the greatest difference, and that is this one because 23.7 is higher than 23.6, so that's 2014. Hannah wants to make some money by buying items at a garbled sale and selling them. The table shows the items that Hannah has recently bought and then sold. She records the profit with a plus or loss with a minus that she made on each item. So we've got blue bowl, china dog, set of teaspoons, small table and lamp with the profit or loss for each item. What was the total profit or loss that Hannah made when she sold these items? Give your answer in pounds. So let's look at the profit first. So all these numbers with the pluses in front. So let's add them together. So 2.85 and 4.95 and 2.70. Adding these together, 5 and 5 gives us 10. So 0 down, 1 carried over. 1 and 9 is 10, and the 8, 18. 18 and the 7, that is 25. So 5 down and 2 carried over. 2 and 2 is 4, and 4 is 8, and the 2 is 10. So profit is £10.50. Now loss, £5.35 and £4.25. 5 and 5 is 10, so 0 down, 1 carried over. 3 and 2 is 5 and the 1 is 6. 5 and 4 is 9. So loss £9.60. So to work out the difference, we'll do £10.50, take away £9.60. 0 take away 0 gives us 0. We need to take away 6 from the 5, which means we've got to borrow 1. So I'm going to borrow 1 from the 10 to make it 9. And we'll give this 10. So that's 15. Take away 6 gives us 9. 9 take away 9 is 0. So 90 pence difference. So this was profit and this was loss. So profit was larger. That's why 90 pence is profit. And there is no loss. So we're going to leave that space blank in there. Jessie lets a unit with a floor area of 40 square meters for 12 months. The unit costs £27.59 per square meter per month. What is the total cost of letting this unit for 12 months? So the cost is £27.59 per square meter. She's got 40 square meters, so we're going to multiply it by 40 to work out the total cost per month for the whole area. Once we have that, we're going to multiply it by 12 to work out the cost for the 12 months. So, starting with a unit with a 0 here, 0 times 9 is 0, 0 times 5 is 0, 0 times 7 is 0, 0 times 2 is 0. We move down and we put a 0 down first because we move into the tens. We're finished with the units. So we can treat it now as if it was just 4, not 40. So 4 times 9 is 36. So we're going to put 6 down and 3 carried over. 4 times 5 is 20. And the 3 we carried over, that's 23. So 3 down, 2 carried over. 4 times 7 is 28, and the 2, that makes 30, so 0 down and 3 carried over. 4 times 2 is 8, and the 3, that is 11. So 0, 6, 3, 0, 1, 1. Now we'll put the decimal point. So looking at the first number, 27.59, it has 2 decimal places. The second number, 40, it has no decimal places because it's a whole number, 40. So overall, the answer will have 2 decimal places. So we'll go backwards. 1, 2. So that is 1103.60. This is for 1 month though, so we'll multiply it by 12 now. 1103.6 times 12. We can leave the 0 out because the answer is going to be the same at the end. No difference. So starting with a unit, 2 times 6 is 12, so 2 down, 1 carried over. 2 times 3 is 6 and the 1 is 7. 2 times 0 is 0. 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 1 is 2. Finished with a unit, we move into the 10. So putting a 0 down, and we treat this as if it was just 1. 1 times 6 is 6. 1 times 3 is 3. 1 times 0 is 0. 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times 1 is 1. Adding these numbers together, 2 and 0 is 2. 7 and 6, that is 13. So 3 down, 1 carried over. 3 and 1 is 4. 2 and 0 is 2. 2 and 1 is 3. 1 and 0 is 1. Now we'll place the decimal point. So looking at the first number, we have 1 decimal place. Looking at the second number, we have no decimal point here because it's 12. It's a whole number. So overall, the answer will have 1 decimal place. So going backwards, we'll place the decimal point here. So that is £13,243.20. Tyra had 1.795 million followers in 2020. Her closest competitor had 2.846 million followers in 2020. Work out 2.846 minus 1.795. So 2.846 minus 1.795. 6 take away 5 is 1. We need to take away 9 from the 4, so that means we've got to borrow 1 here. The 8 becomes 7, this becomes 14, so 14 take away 9 gives us 5, 7 take away 7 is 0, 2 take away 1 is 1, so 1.051. We've got to work out 147.206 minus 95.438. So making sure we've got decimal point and a decimal point, so the numbers are lined up correctly. So starting from the right, we need to take away 8 from the 6, which means we've got to borrow 1. So borrowing from the 0 we can't do because there is nothing there. So we're going to borrow 1 from the 2. That becomes a 1, so that gives this and makes it a 10. So now we can borrow 1 from the 10. The 10 becomes 9 and this becomes 16. So 16 take away 8 gives us 8. 9 take away 3 gives us 6. We've got to take away 4 from the 1, which means we've got to borrow 1 from the 7. So 7 becomes 6, this becomes 11. 11 take away 4 gives us 7. Put in decimal point down. 6 take away 5 gives us 1. Now we've got 14 take away 9, which is 5. So 51.768. We've got 4.50 divided by 0.05. So when we divide decimals, the normal way to go about this is to turn these into fractions. So we've got 4.50 divided by 0.05. So we can write this as 4.50 over 0.05, because we know that the division symbol means the same thing as the fraction line. So what we can do now to keep the fraction the same, we can multiply both numbers by 10. So if I multiply 4.50 by 10, I'll move the decimal point one place to the right to make this number bigger. So it becomes 45.0, and 0.05 when I multiply by 10 becomes 0.5. I still have decimals, so I can keep going, and I do this once more time. So 45.0 times 10, that gives us 450, and 0.5 times 10 gives us 5. So it's like dividing 450 by 5. So 450 divided by 5. How many 5s fit into 45? That is 9. We have nothing remaining. How many 5s into 0? That is 0. So the answer is 90. The other way you can look at this is how many 5p coins would fit into £4.50. Into £1 you'd have 20 coins. So we've got £4, so that is another 20 and another 20 and another 20, which makes 80. And into 50 pence you need, or you can fit 10 5p coins. So in total this is 90, which is what we have as our answer. 531 times 1.4. So 531 times 1.4. 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 3 is 12. So 2 down, 1 carried over. 4 times 5 is 20, and the 1, that is 21. Putting a 0 down, we move into the 1. 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times 3 is 3. 1 times 5 is 5. Adding these together, 4 and 0 is 4. 2 and 1 is 3, 1 and 3 is 4, 2 and 5 is 7. 531, we have no decimal places as it's a whole number. 1.4, we have one decimal place. So all together, this has one decimal place. And that's what we're going to give the final answer, one decimal place. So 743.4 is the answer. Now we've got 18.369 plus 3.197 minus 2.475. Plus and minus, the order doesn't matter, you do them in the order they're given to us. So we'll do 18.369 plus 3.197 first, and then take away 2.475 from the answer. 9 and 7 gives us 16, so 6 down and 1 carried over. 9 and 1 is 10, and the 6 is 16, so 6 down, 1 carried over. 3 and 1 is 4, and the 1, 5. Transferring decimal point down. 8 and 3, that is 11, so 1 down and 1 carried over. 1 and 1 is 2, so 21.566. And we're going to take away 2.475 from that. 6 take away 5 is 1. We need to take away 7 from the 6, which means we've got to borrow. So the 5 becomes 4 and the 6 becomes 16. 16 take away 7 gives us 9. 4 take away 4 is 0. Transferring decimal point down. We've got to take away 2 from the 1, which means we've got to borrow 1 from the 2. So 1 becomes 11. 11 take away 2 gives us 9. 1 take away 0 is 1. 19.091 is the final answer. Calculate 6.4 times 8.5. 5 times 4 is 20, 0 down, 2 carried over. 5 times 6 is 30, and the 2, that is 32. Moving down now, so we put a 0 down first. 8 times 4 is 32, so 2 down and 3 carried over. 8 times 6 is 48, and the 3, that makes 51. So adding these two numbers together gets 0, 4, 4, 5. Now to put the decimal point in, we'll count. We have one decimal place for the first number and one decimal place for the second number. So that is 2 in total. So we're going to give our answer 2 decimal places. So it is 54.40, or you could write 54.4. It means the same thing. Work out 7 take away 2.835. So 7 take away 2.835. We could add a decimal point with 3 zeros to try and make our life easier, because 7 and 7.000 mean the same thing. Now we need to take away 5 from 0, which means we've got to borrow, but there is nothing next to it because we've got 2 zeros next to the last 0. So what we're going to do is we're going to borrow 1 from the 7. This becomes 6, so this becomes 10. Now we can borrow 1 from this to make this 9, and this becomes 10. And finally, we can borrow 1 from the 10 to make this 9 and this 10. So 10 take away 5 gives us 5. 9 take away 3 gives us 6. We've got 9 take away 8, which is 1. Transferring decimal point down. 6 take away 2 gives us 4. So the answer is 4.165. If you want to double check whether you've done this correctly, you can just reverse the process. So add 2.835 and 4.165, and it adds up to 7. We now move into calculated questions. The surface area of a sphere is 4 pi r squared. A sphere has a radius r that measures 3 centimeters. Use pi equals 3.142 or pi equals 22/7. Work out the surface area of the sphere to the nearest centimeter squared. So we've got 4 times pi times r squared. Pi is 3.142 times r squared. R is 3 centimeters, so r squared is going to be 3 times 3, which is 9. So using a calculator, we'll do 4 times 3.142 times 9, which gives us 113.112. To the nearest centimeter, that's going and cutting off here. So looking at this digit on the right, that's a 1, which means we've got to round down. So we're going to keep this as a 3, 113, rather than going to 114. If this digit was 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9, then we'd go to 114. So this is the correct option. Which of these has the smallest value? Tick one box. So we've got 6.048 divided by 24, which is 0.252. We've got 0.095 divided by 5, which is 0.019. 1.032 divided by 12, which gives us 0.086. And finally, we've got 1.274 divided by 7, which is 0.182. So we're looking for the smallest value. All the 4 decimals, they start with 0, so that means we've got to focus now on the second digit, which is 2 here, 0, 0, 1. So 0 is the smallest out of 2, 0, and 1, so we're going to focus on this one and this one. Now, to help us, we're going to look at the third digit. So that's a 1 and that's an 8. 1 is smaller, which means this decimal is the smallest atom than 4. The tallest point in England is 3,209 feet above sea level. The lowest point in England is negative 9.8 feet below sea level. What is the difference between the tallest and the lowest points in England? Write the answer in the box below. So if we look at this number line, we'd have 0 here, and we have here 3,209 feet, and then perhaps right here minus 9.8. So the difference is this and this. So that total there. So we're going to add 3,209 and 9.8. Now we can use a calculator. So I'm going to do 3,209 add 9.8, which is 3,218.8. feet. Work out 9.386 plus 20.94 0.04, all divided by 2.5. Give your answer as a decimal. So we've got this total divided by 2.5. So we've got to get the total first. That's why I'm going to do 9.386 plus 20.904, which gives us 30.29. And I'm going to divide that by 2.5, which is 12.116. Lucas looks at his car's petrol gauge and decides to fill up the petrol tank. The petrol tank holds 70 litres when full. Petrol costs 116.8p per litre. How much does Lucas pay to fill up the tank? So, to fill up the whole tank, he needs 70 litres, so that is 70 times 126.8 pence, which gives us 8,876 pence for the full tank. Now, that is 27% full at the moment, so he's going to need 100, take away 24%, that gives us 76% of the full tank that he needs to fill up. So what is 76% of 8,876 pence? So 76%, that is 76 out of 100 of the amount, which is 8,876. So using a calculator, 76 divided by 100 gives us 0.76, multiplied by 8,876 gives us 6,745.76. Now that is still pence, we haven't converted. So the answer needs to be in pounds. We're going to need to divide this by 100 because there are 100 pence in a pound. Even without the calculator, you'll know straight away that you need to move the decimal point 2 places to the left to make this number smaller. So 67.4576. So money, as you know, has only 2 decimal places. So what we're going to need to do is to round this up. Because of the 7, the 5 will become 6, and the digits in front remain unchanged. So £67.46. And this is the end of the questions.